Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers, and thank you for joining me today as we dive into another exciting discovery from the world of rare and valuable coins. And in this video we're taking a close look at the surprising story behind the 1995 D. Roosevelt 1-cent coin that has captured the attention of collectors because of claims that certain era-struck examples could skyrocket in value far beyond the usual face amount, with some enthusiasts discussing possibilities reaching into extraordinary figures like $0.79 million when the right combination of rarity, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics come together. And while these values are rare and speculative, the idea behind why such a small copper-plated zinc coin could ever be worth that much is what makes this topic so fascinating. So let's break everything down and keep you engaged from start to finish. The 1995 D. Roosevelt cent, produced at the Denver Mint, is normally one of the most common coins you'd find in circulation, with millions of examples struck for everyday use. But within this massive mintage there exists the potential for rare minting errors that instantly transform an ordinary pocket coin into an extraordinary collector's treasure, and that's where the real excitement begins. Because errors are the driving force behind dramatic price increases and the reason collectors passionately search through rolls and old jars hoping to uncover one of these hidden gems. Mint errors can happen in many different ways, and the first major category is wrong planchet errors, where a coin is accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a completely different denomination. For example, a penny struck on a dime or foreign planchet can become incredibly desirable because the size, weight, and metal composition differ from normal, making the piece unmistakably special. And when a 1995 D cent shows such a mismatch, collectors may pay huge premiums, especially if the error is certified and considered one of a very small number known. Another possibility involves double striking or multiple strikes, where the coin is not ejected from the press in time and receives more than one impression, leaving overlapping images, distorted lettering, or repeated features that immediately stand out to experienced numismatists. These coins can command massive prices due to their visual shock value, rarity, and uniqueness. There's also the famous off-center strike, which happens when the planchet isn't properly aligned within the press, causing part of the design to be missing while still showing enough detail to identify the date and mint mark. Coins struck significantly off-center, especially 50% or more, often generate intense competition from collectors, and when paired with a visible D mint mark and clean surfaces, the value can skyrocket far beyond anything you'd expect from a simple cent. Another sought-after category is die errors, such as die cracks, die breaks, cuds, die chips, and even major die clashes where the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in place, transferring imprint patterns that show up later on coins. These dramatic visual imperfections can turn a basic 1995 D cent into a high-value treasure depending on how bold, unusual, and rare the die state is. Even the mint mark itself can become the key to value, because mint mark errors include repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, tilted mint marks, or misplaced mint marks that appear further from their standard location. Collectors crave these because the mint mark was manually punched on dies before 1990. But by 1995 the mint used machine-applied marks, making RPM-style errors extremely rare and valuable if they appear. Another extremely valuable category involves broad strike errors where the collar that normally shapes the coin fails to hold it in place, allowing the metal to expand outward during striking and create a wide, flattened appearance. These errors always attract strong collector attention, especially in mint-state condition. Then there are transitional or composition errors, which occur when the mint accidentally uses leftover planchets from previous years. Although extremely unlikely in 1995, any discovered example would instantly become a multi-million-dollar attraction in the numismatic world because composition mistakes are among the rarest and most desirable types of errors ever created by the U.S. Mint. When you combine any of these major error categories with high-grade preservation, especially a rating of MS65 or higher, the value multiplies dramatically, and that is how certain extraordinary claims arise about coins reaching values like $0.79 million. Because a coin with extreme rarity, perfect condition, And dramatic visual appeal becomes a once-in-a-lifetime collectible that advanced investors and elite collectors may compete over aggressively. While not every 1995 D. Roosevelt cent is worth life-changing money, the possibility exists because minting errors transform an everyday coin into something significantly rare, and serious collectors understand that rarity, condition, demand, and uniqueness are the factors that drive price, not the face value printed on the coin. So if you come across any 1995 D cent that looks unusual, off-center, doubled, misaligned, cracked, oddly shaped, oddly colored, or otherwise visually abnormal, you should definitely get it examined, because although most will be ordinary, that one rare mint error hiding in your pocket change could be the key to a huge unexpected payday. And the excitement of discovering something so valuable is exactly what makes coin collecting such an addictive and rewarding hobby for people all around the world. World of coin collecting, a story that shows how a simple everyday coin can skyrocket in value and turn into a life-changing treasure. And today we are talking about the 1975 D. Roosevelt 1-cent Liberty coin that has captured massive attention for its reported value reaching as high as $0.98 million, a number almost impossible to believe when compared to its ordinary face value. But as every collector knows, coins become valuable because of the unexpected, the rare, the unusual, and the mistakes that slipped through the minting process and survived against all odds, making them the hidden jewels of American currency. The 1975 D. Roosevelt 1-cent coin is one such piece that has stirred excitement because of a series of minting errors, striking anomalies, and misaligned marks that have taken it from an ordinary penny into a story worth exploring. And while most pennies are produced in the millions with precision and consistency, rare exceptions emerge when something goes wrong inside the U.S. Mint. Those accidents become collectibles, and collectors pay incredible amounts for them because of their rarity, historical interest, and the sheer thrill of owning something almost no one else has. One of the biggest reasons this coin has gained so much attention is the possibility of a dramatic mint mark error, the D mark, which represents the Denver Mint, and when this mint mark is misplaced, doubled, partially punched, faint, or struck over another mark, the coin instantly becomes unusual and desirable, and collectors are always searching for variations like repunched mint marks, known as RPM errors, where the original punch did not align perfectly and left a shadow or doubling effect, something that dramatically increases value. On top of that, the 1975 D. Roosevelt cent may also show die errors that happen due to damaged or overused dies, which can create abnormalities on the surface such as die cracks, die breaks, or even retained cut breaks, where parts of the die begin to crumble and leave raised, irregular shapes on the coin's metal surface, making each affected coin completely unique, just like a fingerprint. And this uniqueness is what drives prices into the thousands, tens of thousands, and in extremely rare cases to nearly $1 million when multiple errors stack together. Striking errors are another major category that can boost the value of the 1975 D. Roosevelt 1-cent coin, particularly off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned when struck, leaving part of the design missing, or broad strike errors where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out wider than normal. And such mistakes easily transform a common penny into an extraordinary collectible, especially when the date remains visible because collectors want verification of the year to confirm the rarity. There are also possibilities of planchet errors, including wrong metal compositions, clipped planchets where part of the coin's edge is missing, or even transitional planchet errors when a coin is struck on a leftover blank meant for a different year or denomination. And if a 1975 D. Roosevelt cent were ever discovered struck on a foreign planchet or leftover blank from another coinage composition, its value could explode instantly because of its extreme rarity. Another element that excites collectors is the potential presence of doubling errors, especially double die obverse or double die reverse, caused when the design is improperly hubbed onto the die, creating a clear doubling effect on letters, numbers, or facial features. And coins with strong doubling have sold for enormous amounts in the past, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if a 1975 D. Roosevelt cent features dramatic doubling, that alone could justify a valuation approaching $1 million. What makes this coin even more intriguing is that 1975 was not a year known for major dramatic cent errors, meaning any extreme anomaly from that year becomes even more special because it stands out from the usual production quality. And collectors understand that rarity comes not only from the number of errors but also from the fact that these errors were not expected or common during that period. Add to that the mystery and excitement spread across online auctions, private collectors' circles, and coin forums, where rumors and rare finds are shared, sometimes revealing coins that were tucked away in jars, pocket change, or old containers for decades before someone finally recognized their value. And it shows how thrilling coin hunting can be when an ordinary piece of metal holds the possibility of an extraordinary payday. While most 1975 D. Roosevelt 1-cent coins will always stay at their modest face value, the rare examples with extreme minting mistakes, stacked errors, or remarkably unique features can become priceless treasures, and that is why collectors worldwide keep searching, examining, and hoping to find one of these elusive pieces that could be worth life-changing money. So as we explore this coin's incredible potential, remember that it's not just about the metal itself but the mystery, the history, the mistakes, and the rare chances that elevate an everyday cent into something worth nearly $1 million, proving once again that treasure can still be found in the most unexpected places, even in the smallest pocket change you might handle today. We dive into another exciting discovery from the world of rare coins, where ordinary pocket change can sometimes hold extraordinary value, and today we're focusing on a surprising treasure, the 2001 Roosevelt Liberty 1-cent coin, a modern-era piece that has captured the attention of collectors because of rare minting errors and unusual variations that can make it worth far beyond its face value. With some reports and collector claims suggesting examples reaching into the astonishing range of six-figure valuations, even as high as $0.63 million, and although such numbers are tied to extremely rare and unique error conditions, they highlight just how much value a simple minting mistake can add when everything aligns perfectly. So let's go deep into what makes this coin special, why collectors chase these rare pieces, and what possibilities you should look for if you ever come across a coin from this year. The 2001 Roosevelt Liberty coin is normally a modern, common circulation coin produced in huge quantities, and under normal circumstances it holds only its face value because the minting technology of the early 2000s was precise and efficient, leaving little room for dramatic errors. But every now and then the minting process slips in an unexpected way. And that's where opportunity is born for collectors, because even the slightest deviation from normal production, whether during die creation, planchet preparation, striking pressure, die alignment, or mint mark placement, can result in a coin that is no longer ordinary but becomes a unique collectible. When we talk about the possibility of a 2001 Roosevelt coin being worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands, we're usually referring to extremely rare error categories such as double-struck coins where the design is imprinted more than once, off-center strikes where the image is shifted dramatically, broad strikes that show spreading beyond the coin's rim, missing or incorrect mint marks, die cracks that snake across the surface, and the highly valued transitional errors where a coin is mistakenly struck on the wrong metal composition or an unintended planchet left over from a previous year, and each of these mistakes creates a coin that stands apart from the millions of normal examples circulating across the United States. One of the key features collectors search for is a mint mark error, because the small letter identifying where the coin was produced can sometimes be missing, doubled, misaligned, or struck using the wrong die. When this occurs, the coin's identity becomes unusual enough that it draws attention from serious buyers who value rarity above all else, and the scarcer the error, the higher the value can climb. Especially when authenticated and graded by reputable organizations that specialize in preserving the most exceptional examples. Another major factor that increases a coin's value is the severity and visibility of the error, because minor imperfections might boost the price only slightly, but dramatic mistakes that are immediately noticeable can elevate the value into jaw-dropping territory, attracting collectors who understand that such pieces come along only once in a lifetime. And that rarity combined with demand creates intense competition in auctions where high-grade error coins sometimes set unbelievable price records. The 2001 Roosevelt Liberty coin also benefits from modern interest in error collecting, a growing niche where enthusiasts study every detail of production flaws, and this rising demand contributes to higher valuations whenever a truly rare example appears. And because the coin is from a relatively recent year, many people are surprised to learn that it can still hold significant potential value, which adds to the excitement of searching through loose change, old jars, or inherited coin collections where a rare error coin might be hiding unnoticed. The possibility of transitional errors is another reason collectors are intrigued by this date, because sometimes a planchet of a different composition ends up in the wrong batch during striking, creating a coin that weighs differently, sounds different, or shows unusual coloration, and such coins often become some of the most sought-after pieces in the hobby, with prices skyrocketing when authenticated. Even so, not every unusual-looking 2001 coin is valuable, because many marks, scratches, or where patterns come from circulation rather than the minting process, so it's important to study genuine error characteristics, compare them with known examples, and when in doubt, submit the coin for professional grading to confirm its authenticity. Since genuine mint errors are always produced at the moment of striking and not afterward. Additionally, collectors place great value on condition, so a mint-state error coin, especially one displaying strong detail, clean surfaces, and minimal handling marks, can multiply in value compared to a circulated example, which is why so many high-value error coins come from rolls, sets, or bags that remained untouched for years. Ultimately, the extraordinary valuations you sometimes hear, such as the claims of a 2001 Roosevelt Liberty 1-cent coin selling for prices up to $0.63 million, are rooted in the reality that unique, dramatic, authenticated mint errors can command life-changing amounts, while the vast majority of coins remain ordinary, but the thrilling possibility is always there, waiting for someone to discover the next unbelievable piece. So if you ever come across a 2001 Roosevelt coin that looks different, off-center, unusually shiny, heavier or lighter than expected, or has an odd mint mark, keep it aside and get it checked, because the world of error coins is full of surprises, and your next find could be one of those rare treasures that transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream worth far more than anyone would expect.